Hi everyone, STAB here. Today I'm taking out the Tier 8 American light cruiser, the Cleveland. As you can see, it's got the fantastic campaign camouflage on it with what I like to call Steve the Eagle. Now I've had this since one of the last public test servers when the Cleveland first became Tier 8. Now as you can see, there's only 3 ships per side. There's a Bayern and 2 Clevelands on the enemy team, and me in the Cleveland, and Edinburgh, and in New Orleans. Now, the reason why I'm posting this video up is to highlight something that I've noticed a hell of a lot. Especially, well, it's been a big problem that I've noticed. And that is, cruisers, specifically, always seem to be travelling broadside. Very few seem to angle themselves. And, it may not make a lot of difference, but it can stop you being citadel. And the point in question, look how gorgeous that camo is. It is beautiful. I've almost unlocked it on the live server. It's just absolutely stunning, even in this wet weather. Oh, I really cannot say enough praise for Wargaming for how beautiful that camo looks. Okay, but onwards. We can't always spend the whole battle enjoying beautiful aesthetic things. So, I'm going to head north, and I'm going to hug the islands to the north, because I don't want that Bayern with its rather large guns to just punch through me. As you can see, almost all the members of both teams are clan members, so pretty good. Well, I say pretty good. You expect most people who play in clan battles, especially on the PTS, to actually be pretty good players and know what they're doing. So take that into account. Most of these are not newbie players just going on the PTS to earn rewards. They're players that play a hell of a lot. Now remember also, there are people from Asia, the US, the Russian server, and the EU who play on the PTS. So different tactics. But for me, I'm going to head north and I'm going to hug these islands because I want to see if I can spot the enemy without being spotted myself. And also, I'm going to try not to give any broadsides so that if I am spotted, I'm giving the enemy the smallest possible profile to try and hit me. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, those 2 Clevelands, if they start sailing broadside, I can probably wreck them. But I'm going to keep the high explosive loaded first because they're more likely to be angled towards me. See, and with only 152mm, even against a light cruiser, it's probably going to shatter or ricochet. So, as I haven't been spotted, I'm going to make my turn behind this island. Both my teammates are coming up in support of me, and we notice instantly that the enemy is probably playing extremely cautiously as well. Both teams cautious, none of us are on voice comms, we're all just random players. So, I'm keeping an eye on our cruiser in the middle, going into Cap C. Now, he's got a cruiser in support. I can't quite see which one is up front from the replay. That's the Edinburgh. Now, he's got a smoke screen, so he's gone up, and if he gets spotted, he can smoke up. And the British armour piercing on the Edinburgh, which is the only ammunition it has, is very, very good. Now I'm going to come in support, and I notice a spotter plane. Now noticing it circling, that's probably a Cleveland. It's probably not the Bayern. Now I've been detected, so we're going to keep moving, because I want to make sure that I'm not. Now I managed to shoot it down, which is good. So I'm undetected, but they know roughly where I am. They know which direction I'm headed. And whoa, that was some Cleveland firepower coming in. Now you can tell by the red shells that the enemy Cleveland is using Halsey. Now that means he's got all some extra good stuff. He's got the turret rotation speed, doesn't take as long, and the switch between armor piercing and high explosive takes less time. Now I'm trying to avoid him, and if you notice, I'm actually angling towards him. But that gives a much easier target for if the Bayern is coming down the middle, coming to a southeasterly direction. Now I'm going to turn now because the other Cleveland is behind the island. I'm going to fire off some high explosive to try and set them on fire. Now ideally you'd probably want to switch to armor piercing because I'm only getting shatters. Now that's the thing. Now the different volley, different story. But I'm still firing off the high explosive because at this point I wasn't really sure. You know, when you're down at tier 6, where the Cleveland used to be, you used to just spend a lot of time firing high explosive at each other. What I really should be doing, because I've got the nice flat broadside of the enemy Cleveland, is firing armor piercing. Because I'd go straight through him, I'd get citadel hits. Now the difference is, I'm giving my enemy a much smaller target to shoot at, whereas he's giving me the nice broadside of his ship, and even the high explosive shells are doing damage. They're setting fires. But in retrospect, what you really should be doing is firing armor piercing, because we would have finished him off a hell of a lot quicker than what we're actually doing. And I believe in the end the fire probably gets him. Then we'll fire again, and nope, it wasn't the fire. It was my shells that cleared. But that is a prime example. Sailing broadside, even HE after a while can kill you off. Now, the enemy team, they've capped Bravo. So it's 2 capture points each. Now I'm thinking, where's the best way to go? Am I better off heading north or south? So I start heading north. But in the back of my mind I'm thinking, okay. And there we are, that's just confirmed it. They're heading south. So I need to head south too. The Edinburgh on our team, I believe, is heading north still. I believe. And our New Orleans is heading south. So I'm going to head south as well to back up and support him. Yeah, it is the New Orleans heading south. So we're going to head south, and because 2 targets are better than 1, and I'm going to use these islands to try and conceal me from the enemy, because Cleveland can fire over the top of them. So I'm going to fire over the top. Hopefully I won't be detected, and I'll be able to score some good hits on the enemy ships without them reciprocating back in kind. As you can see, we're winning on points. That's because we've managed to sink the enemy Cleveland. But it's like I keep saying, and I will keep saying during this replay, sailing broadside when your enemy's angled towards you, unless you're in a very big battleship or you're firing HE, the amount of damage you will do to the enemy will be minimal, if any. The only thing you're likely to do, unless it's superstructure, will be spalling damage, which isn't a lot, and that gives the enemy more chance to reciprocate in kind and end you and send you to the bottom of the sea. So with our American flag down the side, the Cleveland looking a bit tarnished from that high explosive barrage we received from the enemy Cleveland, we're going to head towards the Delta capture point. Now there's the Bayern. Now I'm making sure some islands are between me, but he still managed to spot me. That may be because the enemy Cleveland can see me. Now I'm firing the high explosive because he's a very well angled battleship. And even though I'm scoring penetrations, they're not doing a lot of damage. It's mainly superstructure. And there we are, that's some incoming fire from the enemy Cleveland. Now what I have to remember, still in the back of my mind, is his commander is a lot more equipped than mine is. He has Aldi, he has all those nice extra bonuses. So I have to be extremely careful. The good thing for me is the Bayern is more focused on the New Orleans, which is, even though he's angled well towards him, he's got a much more tempting target. And also the enemy Cleveland is more interested in firing him as well. So, 2 well-angled ships. Now I'm maintaining my high explosive barrage on the Cleveland because to me he's a more serious threat. He's got more rapid fire guns. And because most of us are cruisers, he can do a lot more damage to us than the Bayern can, and I take him out. Now I'm going to head forwards because I'm not sure how long. There we go. My comrade in the New Orleans has gone down. I'm going to keep up the high explosive because they're only 152mm guns. If you're in something like a Des Moines or a Buffalo, because they're 203mm guns, armor piercing would probably do quite a bit of damage even to a Bion. Because you're not going to encounter a Bion, but it could be something bigger. It could be a Tirpitz, it could be an Amagi, etc. They're the kind of things you're going to encounter when you're at higher tier, for instance. But it's still the same. Try not to sail broadside. If you're angled, the enemy is less likely to hit you. That works if you're going bow on and if you're kiting away. Most of the time in a light cruiser, you're going to be kiting away from the enemy. So kite away. Don't sail broadside because it will not end well. Now, my comrade in the Edinburgh is going to cap Bravo now. He's capped Alpha, he's going to cap Bravo. He knows I've got the attention of this Bion. I've set him on fire again. And with this island in the way, the Bion can't return fire. Whereas, as you can see, the Cleveland is quite capable of firing over the top. That's what I was aiming for in the beginning. And that is what you have to do in order to avoid taking fire and taking damage in a light cruiser. Now, here we are, we're kiting away from him, and we're going to maintain kiting away from him. See? Using our speed, use our manoeuvrability, and we set him on fire again. So he's now firing 2 places, and he's presenting an almost broadside target, even though it's not perfect, to the Edinburgh. So, I've got the enemies focused on me, we've got a points advantage, I'm resetting the cap, we're capping the enemy's cap, well, the cap that they have control of, so we have the points advantage. So even if I go down now, I've done what I need to do for the team. See? Now this can work pretty well in higher tiers as well. The same principle applies whether you're same tier, top tier, low tier, doesn't matter. Maintain the same discipline. Now, if you're taking a lot of fire, don't fire. Now I know that he's already fired. That's why I'm broadside. I'm trying to get as many guns as possible, and I'm going to angle towards him because hopefully I'm going to avoid some of the shells. See, there we go. No hits. No hits on me. See? Speed and manoeuvrability, mainly in a light cruiser, but for any cruiser, is an absolute must. Now I'm turning away, I can kite away from him, and I know the Edinburgh's coming in, and he's going to present a fantastic broadside angle to the Edinburgh, because I'm keeping him focused on me. But, ooh, see, he's getting his rear turrets away on me, and, ooh, see, even angled, I took quite a big hit there. So I'm keeping up the high explosive barrage. Now if you were a heavier cruiser, switching to armor piercing at this point would probably give you it would probably do more damage, especially superstructure damage. But they're only 152mm guns, all I can hope for is really superstructure damage, so I'm keeping up the high explosive barrage. Now, I hope you can see that from this video that, see, just a slight bit of broadside, I take a big bit of damage. But I hope you can see from this video that keep your cruiser angled. And hopefully I'll see less of you out there turning broadside and ending up on the bottom of the ocean. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the high seas.